got the one hole, what I've used is a tiny weeny end mill bit, and I'll show you that in a bit more detail. Let's see if I've got one on the table which is a little bit bigger. Here we go. It's a little bit bigger. So I'm going to drill a hole with something you don't normally drill holes with. This is a 4 flute. I mean, it says it's carbide tips. Now, it's carbide coloured. It's been licked by something, I think, because these don't take up to stainless. I do struggle using this sort of type on stainless, but on this sort of metal, you're going to be all right. When I get to stainless, I start to go and use solid carbide, something like that. Ain't cheap, but you get the life out of it. I always choose to use 4 flute. You do get 2, but 4 flute you don't get so much sort of walk with 4 as you do 2. You get a walks more or less, so when it wobbles a little bit. And I've only got a tiny amount of room, so I do need to try and mill those holes, let's say, not drill. I suppose that's what I'm doing. I'm milling, because I tried the drill bit, tried a tiny little 2mm drill bit, and I just kept getting walk. So I thought, right, now we're going to need to try something else. So we'll get it all lined up. I'll put another one in there, I think. Yeah, in that other groove. I've not flattened it off yet. I'm using the grooves as a mark so far. And we could drop a few pins in there, and then we could see if we can do something to fill in the gap in between. I don't know, maybe a bit of that epoxy or something. We'll come up with something that's going to be sturdy. I only need a tiny bit of height really, but I need something I can anchor things to. That's why I need the holes. So we'll put a bit of, remember, always put a bit of lube on before you're going to go in anywhere, because we don't want to burn it up. And we'll give it another blast. You've always got to be really gentle. So what we're dropping at. Okay, so we've got 2 tiny weeny holes in that particular piece. I've got my collet block in a minute. What I could do is I could move this out of the way, get my arm out of the way as much as I can, lock that off, and then I could use this, don't adjust anything, to fix my pins in. That's what I'm going to do, and then I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. Okay, 2 holes. I've dropped a piece, all it is just a tiny piece of piano wire. I've dropped them in. Now what I'm going to do next, I could either silver solder it, hopefully it doesn't burn the crap out of it and melt, or I could get some epoxy and epoxy it in and just build it with epoxy and then cut it to size. So I was going oversize first so I can build it up, and then we'll cut it to size, because all I want is another couple of more mil on that blade, and I think this is probably the easiest way to do it. So I'll see what I can come up with next. Okay, I've got another collet block over here, and I'll move over to another vise, so it's all nice and sturdy. It ain't going to squash you. Maybe I tried to put that pipe in that vise, even with these crappy, supposed to be sort of soft grip jaws, it still squashes them, but this collet will not. Well, there's a couple of things. I could either silver solder them, or you can use this stuff. Okay, you see them in the paint shop. Basically, it's an epoxy, and in there, I'll get one out and I'll show you. I'm going to open the bugger up. I've had these for years. Sometimes they go off. Okay, in there, you take the little top off, and you'll see 2 different colours. There's like a yellowy one in the middle and a grey colour on the outside, and you have to keep kneading them like dough. Just keep kneading them and mixing them in, but you haven't got long before they do start to set quite hard, and you get loads of them for £1, so they're not expensive, they're quite cheap at pound shop. Epoxy, and then they'll go with like a grey colour. You let them set for an hour or so, and it'll be like concrete. And for what you're going to use it for here, it's just lift. You're not going to actually physically forcing stuff with it. It should do the job. So that's one option if you haven't got any solder or welding abilities or equipment. Nice cheap. Get loads of it for £1, do all sorts of stuff, repair all sorts of stuff with that. So I thought that was a cheap option. So far we've had a bit of a drill, a bit of a mill, dropped a couple of holes in, a couple of bits of tatty old piano wire, drop them in to build up that, and then we're going to build it up with soldering or epoxy. The choice is yours of what you've got. Okay, so I'll see what I can try and come up with, and we'll have a look at when it's finished. Okay, 10 minutes later, what we come up with. I've got really mucky hands. The bloody paint. Oh, I tell you, paint. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Now, does anybody want any gold fillings? Bit of a sideline there for you. There you go. There's those two little pins. Dropped a touch of solder on them. Give it a bit of a clean up. 10 minutes that took me. 10 minutes. And then hopefully we'll have a jiggery poker. I might have to reduce some of this side, but we'll have a look. And we've built up that tip, hopefully high enough so we can flip them over, lift them up, maybe jigger about a bit, backwards and forwards, and get the lock open. So there you go. The epoxy, well, you could have done the same, just takes a little bit longer to set. So I'll put it all back together again, and then we'll have a look. Right, paint, yes, I'm moaning about paint. Bloody curtains, hanging curtain rails. I had to put a new plinth thing up and put some new curtain rails up. Oh God, the screws that come with curtains, especially those little plastic things that you have to attach to the frame or the wood to put your actual rail up. Them screws are rubbish. The amount of times I chewed them up was unbelievable. That's what kept reminding me of that bloody curtain. Up and down, 4 different times I had to change them screws out. Sort your screws out, curtain people. Right, enough whinging about that. We'll put it all back together again, and then we'll give it a go. Right, let's see if it works. Make sure those levers are in there. Yeah, the spring's there. Put this great big cover back on. Put a couple of screws in it. Anyway, how's your week going so far? Bloody lockdown in the UK, eh? Go on, the postman. I tell you, I got another moan today. I was in, the postman bloody shoved a note for the door and done a runner on me, so I've got to go to the sorting office. How's that supposed to be helping us isolate, eh? Make more effort, post people. Right, so we're all locked up. We're going to give it a go. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll try. Let's see if I can get these both in here. I can't. Well, okay, we've got hold of the bolt on the back part there. That's good. Now what I want to do is try and put a bit of tension on that and have a little lift. See if I can try and get these to lift up. I'll go from the front. Let's just try the front. Backwards and forwards. Oh, nearly. There she goes. She's just catching. It's just a bit shy. We've got it, but that bolt at the back is just a little bit short. So we threw it around again. Can we get it again? You can see it there. It's just a tiny bit short. So that back bolt will need. There you go. We're out another way. So we did it in the end. It did sort of kind of work. So probably what needs to happen is that this piece as well, its hip was just a tad short, so that needs building up a tad, and also probably just one little drill hole in there, a pin fixed in, take it up a couple of mil, similar height to that, and then we sort of got it to work, didn't we? Safety force lock, golden tough or teeth at all. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. It was a bit of fun, wasn't it, messing about with this sort of stuff, see if we could get to do something. A little bit more work and it would work better. So it was the first attempt, and I got it open, so brilliant. Right, guys, for the prize draw, remember we've got those bits of bent wire, which I promised you, and I shall make them a bit more pretty than they already are. That beautiful, move my arm out of the way. Beautiful leggy. Remember, what a stunning lock. I'm going to miss it. That was fun. That beautiful leggy that we had a little pop at, with the box and all of the bits and pieces. It's still here, all in one piece, I assure you. All the old bit of a blast from the past. So this is this week's prize draw for my supporters. Remember, guys, if you want to help this channel and support me, the information and the listing below. And if you want to buy any tools, you haven't got to be a member at all to be my site. You just got to ask. There's an email list below as well. Right, so Pot of Dreams. Let's pick one winner this week. And supporters, thank you very much for your support. We'll see what we can come up with next week. Let's try and get hold of. We've got one person. Who we got? Got Pat. Pat, my friend. You've won that beautiful leggy and a few bits of bent wire. Congrats. Have a fantastic rest of the week. Have a brilliant weekend. And guys, I shall see you all very, very soon. Take it easy. Stay safe. Ta-da.